Well, first I want to say I have absolutely no association with Chris Duane at all, but I'm going to actually make a little common sense video a little bit in his defense because I've seen a lot of criticism of him, but I just think he got in a situation that he couldn't handle, and I don't know if he's going to be handling it the best way he can or he can actually do anything about it. So, there's a lot of criticism of him that he didn't deliver on coins, and some coins he did, and some he didn't, whatever. But I just think he got in over his head and screwed up and got into some kind of businesses that he really can't handle. There's a lot of learning curve on a lot of things. Sometimes you try to bite off more than you can chew. Sometimes you know things about business, and then all of a sudden you go to another level, it's a lot tougher. And, you just run into a lot of walls. Obviously, one thing that happened with silver, when he was starting out on his ventures, the price plummeted like crazy from the upper 20s or 30 down to 22. Which I'm sure put a major crunch on things for him. So, I'm sure, let me just put it this way. I notice people probably got screwed over supposedly right now by the guy or whatever it is, supposedly, quote unquote. But I doubt if it's his intention to do that in the first place. It wasn't a pre-planned, premeditated con scam or anything like that. It definitely wasn't. It's probably just got in a situation that it was beyond his control, and maybe he just can't even make good on it for all I know. That's maybe what the situation is, and that's what it seems like. It's like most people, it's nothing ventured, nothing gained, They don't want to stick their neck out and try a business. So, I think that's what happened with Chris Duane. He got caught up in a trap when he, and I tell you, the one thing I really had a major criticism of guys like Chris Duane or Brother John F. or SGT Bull is too heavy on a conspiratorial side of things. I mean, yes, there's conspiracies and things like that. Too much emphasis on putting way too much of your money into silver and that all cash is trash. I mean, I can't. Yeah, it told me cash is trash. If you got a nice pile of cash, it still buys things, right? But, that type of stuff. I mean, actually, if silver is such a super, super, super smart investment, there'd be bigger bucks, there'd be other shrewder people into it, too. It wouldn't be just like, this silver crowd knows the markets that are going to happen. Actually, I think it's going to surprise us. They're talking about silver may recover its $30 title. I'm like, $30? It ain't shit. How about 60? And as if the price goes up, I hope the silver people keep their damn mouths shut. Just keep lobbying. We need a lobbyist. That's what we really need to do. We need to have a lobbyist for Ben Bernanke, Send him if, you could buy him beer, but maybe he likes home-brewed beer, some of the best stash of the smokes people have, or maybe Ben would like that. I don't know. We got to bribe this guy, lobby him somehow to get the price of silver up into the 3 digits in U.S. greenbacks, at least $100. Then we're talking some money here, Don't even shoot for the 50. Let's do 100. The hell with it. But as far as if Chris Duane was ordering this stuff and say the price of silver shot up to $45 an ounce, he'd be sitting pretty. And everybody'd be calling him a hero. He wouldn't have got all screwed up. So it's like the market's killed him, basically. I mean, it could be anything. I mean, it could be, just look at what happened in the real estate industry. A lot of builders, are building and building. Actually, people are in the markets for decades, and their families or everything they're doing was associated with building condos or building houses or construction of commercial real estate, strip malls and stuff, and all of a sudden the economy went upside down, right? And they couldn't complete. A lot of projects went under, half completed houses and things like that, right? People put money down and people lost that money, right? I don't know if Chris Duane's gonna, but the thing is, he just got caught in a tight squeeze here when I don't know him. I don't know him at all. But I could tell you what went on. He didn't try to be a con man and set people up and try to take their money and not deliver on purpose. He just got caught up in a financial squeeze. Just like maybe you compare that to what happened even in the housing market. I mean, you know, maybe you'll lose out on some ounces of silver, which sucks. But could you imagine putting $20,000, $30,000 down on a house and, you know, the guy can't deliver because everything went upside down? You know, I mean, it could be even worse than that. Or say, for instance, you bought that big ticket item and you paid $300,000 for it, and all of a sudden the market says it's $175,000 now. That's what it's worth, and you're going to be paying a 30-year mortgage on it. You know, or say 80% loan to value mortgage. And so, I mean, the guy didn't. I can tell you right now, I don't know him personally at all, and but I don't really need to know him personally. I wouldn't understand, right, what happened with him. He got caught up in some economic circumstances that were basically very unexpected. Not too many people expected the silver price to drop to 22, and that has a lot to do with what happened. What happened if the silver price went unexpectedly up, some great value, or busted through 35 or something like that, and went way up, he'd be sitting pretty, and everybody would be calling him a hero. See? But obviously it wasn't his intention to get caught in this trap. He just got in over his head. And he probably was not so well. It's not so much that it was totally ill planned on his part, but just like anything, when somebody gets into a new business venture, there's a lot of unexpected things they have to do, and dealing with a lot of stuff. It's tough to deal with a business. That doesn't mean that's no excuse that you should make good on what you're contracted to do. But obviously, it wasn't his intent to freaking con anybody out of anything. It's just that, the situation is that he might not be able to make good on all the silver that was purchased for fiat cash, The main beef I have with guys like, that push the silver line too much, like BJF or SJD Bull or Chris Duane. Now, I think Greg Manarino is a little more balanced in a lot of stuff, a lot more balanced than those other guys. But, it's almost like they're talking about, cash is trash. The only safety is physical silver. God, it's so extreme. It's ridiculous. Well, it's not. I don't even want to care if it's extreme. It just doesn't seem to be accurate. Cash is not total trash yet. It's going to take a while before that ever happens. And your only safety is not in silver. I think better that your majority of your safety is in hard physical assets, though. And I've always emphasized that even simple like food supplies is about as. It's actually, if it was a real emergency, that would be more important than silver. But I've been very critical of Chris Duane too, because I think these guys are just telling people a bunch of crap they want to hear. We got the banksters on the run, buy physical silver. They're gonna go get the hell out of here. You're gonna break the banksters for freaking buying physical silver. You might be making out yourself though, saving yourself some money. Especially if they do some kind of garbage and there's like a banking financial collapse or something in the future, and you have silver, physical silver. You don't have to deal with, not the whole system's not going to collapse, but maybe certain areas of the system collapse. And you don't know what areas they would be, because obviously people would run out of them ahead of time. It's always like, yeah, everything's fine, and there's a collapse the next day, right? But say for instance you had money in Bank of America, the most solid bank in America, right? Yeah, I don't know. But say you had money in there. I'll just give it an example. Bank of America just collapsed. I'm just throwing it out real simple. But you had silver. Hey, you're better off with it right there. You could still get money for silver. You can go down and some other banking establishment's going to be around, There's some truth to the stuff about paper going to worthless. I think there's going to be financial institutions that are going to go under. And just looking at this very, very simple fact, we always talk about the debt that's held by foreign entities. China holds like a lot of U.S. debt and all this kind of garbage. Russia doesn't, right? Russia's smart, right? That's one thing I'd say Putin did good. Putin did that, the human one, not the cat one. Get out of, doesn't hold U.S. debt. But who holds most U.S. debt? U.S. financial institutions. So if the government defaulted on a debt, what would happen to those financial institutions? Wouldn't they go like bust? So that's the beauty of having physical silver. But that doesn't mean the entire financial system in total is going to go bust. But there may be a lot of areas that are going to have major problems. So it's not stupid to go pretty hard into silver. I don't think it is stupid, but I don't like the way they exaggerate so much, and it's just overkill and overboard. That's really maybe my main criticism of these silver. I think they're just playing to the crowd, The banksters are, I'll tell you the truth, there's a lot of banksters that aren't so screwed up. They don't want things to go wrong. They actually think they're providing a service to people. Banking industry's around for a reason, It's supposed to help business ventures, and it's supposedly to enable a business to make more money, which in turn will make the bank money. That's how it works. It's a symbiotic relationship, in theory. In reality, it doesn't always work like that, I know. But, I just want to say, when it doesn't work out, everybody's a critic, I mean, yeah, maybe they're justifiably criticizing Chris Duane, but hey, the guy didn't. I don't know him. Hey, it's plain and obvious to me. He didn't intend it to work out the way it did. He would have rather provided all the silver to everybody and had his business grow. Wasn't his intention to set up some kind of Ponzi scheme or anything like that, like these people are accusing him of. I know that for a fact. And how I know for a fact? Intuition. How's that? Intuition. I know it. But also intuition says these guys are freaking a bunch of conspiracy playing up to the crowd, getting everybody worked up for a bunch of bullshit too. It's good to actually get into a lot of silver, and this year, I always say, man, it's going to take off unexpectedly. I always said this, that during times of uncertainty, it's just 101 economics. Oil, gold, and silver go up. I don't know if there's going to be something coming up someday with Syria or Iran or something, and there's a lot of it's always comes out of left field. It always comes out of left field. And just like the silver markets have surprised us in April, they could surprise us later on and go up a lot faster. Because if there is some crazy worldwide events that happen, there's a lot more tension, there's a lot more uncertainty, dissatisfaction with the financial system or anything like that, or what's going on in the economy. A lot more people will get more fearful and will buy more gold, which usually is a lot more silver too. There is a lot of physical buying going on, so I expect the spot price not to detach from, it's pretty much detached from reality now, but it's going to spring upward. And I'm not just blowing smoke up the butt here, like trying to tell you a bunch of good shit like some of those other guys. I think that's reality. It is. It's going to take off a lot faster than I think. But I guess if there's something we can really do, we ought to lobby Ben Bernanke. Ben, you got to create a bubble just in silver. I mean, get it to 500 an ounce. I mean, we got to lobby this guy. I mean, that'd be the way to do it. I mean, everybody's criticizing him, throwing stones at Ben Bernanke. We got to lobby him, man. I mean, crap. It'd be great. He's the guy that could really make the price of silver go up. There's got to be some kind of underhanded, sneaky Fed policy that'll do us good. So, I think the silver community ought to concentrate their efforts on lobbying Ben Bernanke and, to hell with throwing the stones at Chris Duane, because basically he just got in over his head. And, I know it's piss poor if you freaking still didn't get your silver, but, he didn't intend it to work out that way. And you should try to get your money back, but he might not be able to do it. He might not be able to do it. I'm sure that wasn't his intention in the beginning. I know it for a fact just by using intuition.